If you're only starting out, it might be difficult for you to get things right when drawing. The advice of just draw and practice is not good enough, especially for a beginner. This video is meant to help you go through the process of one of the most frequent things you'll draw, and one of the most likely to catch your attention, a face. The face, while being one of the most frequent drawings, is also one of the hardest actually. And why is that? We are designed to pay a lot of attention to faces. It's easier for us to be judgmental of how our portraits come out because as humans, we're able to read the expressions of a face. First, I want to include an important disclaimer for everyone. Please use references. It's incredible to me that there's still a prejudice on some spaces, TikTok, against using references. Using a reference is not cheating. How are you gonna draw something if you don't know what it looks like? Professional illustrators and artists use all type of references. The master use references as well. You have to study what you are gonna draw before you draw what you want, especially when you're only starting out and you haven't built a mental library yet. So bottom line, use references, Pinterest, reference websites like Sketch Daily, Line of Action, Postmaniacs, also 3D models in general. Anything can serve as a reference, and you can use multiple for a single piece. So let's put together some reference for this. The next step is breaking down the face. There are a lot of methods for this, the Loomis method, Asarohead, Rayleigh, and other ones. I don't follow strictly any of those. I rather take something out of all of them that can apply well to what I want to do. Honestly, the first method that I learned was the popular and classic how to draw an anime face. And while it has its issues with anatomy, it was the first thing that actually helped me enhance my drawing back when I was like 12. Since then, I've just taken things from those different methods that I watched through the years and put them together to build my process. So I suggest you look into several ways of breaking down the shape of the head and face and take with you what resonates the most. There's no wrong or right way to draw a face as long as you are keeping anatomy in mind. So here I'm teaching you my way of doing things. Here's how I go about it. I draw the classic circle as the first base, then the line that defines the middle of the face. I separate the face into three parts. Each would have the same length. The first part is the forehead. The second part includes eyes and nose and also the ears. The third part has the mouth and chin. Let's add the neck as well. If you want to draw characters with different proportions in the face, you can vary this, but for now let's stick to the basic way of doing it. Also, keep in mind you have to leave a little bit of space for the hairline. Once you have this, you can start to fill things in. First, let's do the eyes. Keep in mind that the distance between each eye is another eye, so you can distribute it like this by making three boxes. For the eyes, think about a sphere with folds up and down. Everything is a shape, or more shapes interacting with each other. As this is the front view, it's pretty straightforward. Now, we can do the nose. A lot of people, including myself, see the nose as a pyramid. When you see it from the front, the only thing you actually notice is the part at the bottom, with the nostrils. That's why styles like anime simplify the nose with a single line. I usually draw the nostrils and the sides for this angle. I like it that way. For the lips or mouth, it's not a straight line. The lips creates a sort of soft, rounded look. Of course, this varies from person to person, but I found this nice reference that looks at lips from different angles, and you can do a breakdown for this. The main thing I keep in mind is the middle part, where the cupid's bow is. I actually noticed that most lips follow the shape of the cupid's bow in the line that parts the lips. After that, I mostly look at the commissaires, and I also add a line for the lower lip. For the hair, there are different parts of it. You can't draw each strand of hair individually. You have to think of it like pieces and forms that come together. Now, it's time to fill everything in with what I've told you. And just like that, we have a nice beginning sketch of the face. We can also try drawing the classic 3/4 position. So now, with this reference, the face turns to the side, so we have to highlight different forms. So let's go ahead and do the same. We create the base circle, then the line that defines the middle of the face, where the nose and mouth will be. Divide the drawing into 3 parts, like we did before. For this part where the eye is, we can see that from the brow and down is not a straight line. The eye socket makes a dip that later evens out when meeting the cheek, and then goes to the chin. From there, the other side of the face shows a bit of a longer line for the jaw. In general, you have to think about how things move around in the face considering the new angle. Besides Pinterest reference, of course, as I mentioned before, you can also use 3D references so you have an idea of how shapes change in general. I suggest you do this with other references and other angles so you can get the hang of how the shapes of the face work and also how they work keeping in mind different angles. If you're only starting out, I suggest you only practice the front and 3/4 angle just so you don't feel overwhelmed, but also to get into the rhythm of drawing faces. And later, you can try different angles. Of course, if you want to practice various angles from the get go, don't let me stop you. But please, please, please use references. Don't let anyone tell you using references is cheating, is actually the key to practicing and getting good. If you don't use references, you risk getting into bad habits when drawing. Maybe you think a nose looks good in a certain way, but when you look at real life, you see it looks off. And this doesn't only apply to realism, even caricatures or more stylized drawings keep good anatomy and proportions in mind. Here you can watch this time lapse of me practicing with different faces if you want to stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe for more. That's all from Voice Over Me, so see you in the next one.